Another big part of your team is your dispo team. Sounds like you have 9 people, maybe a few more. You're dispoing on MLS and Facebook. What's the lowest hanging fruit for people to do better dispo?
Depends on the type of product they have. Okay. If you have large properties, probably MLS.
Mhm.
If you have a smaller dollar, probably Facebook. Okay. On a Facebook, you sell a lot of five, 10, $15,000 deals. On MLS, if you have 50,000, $100,000 deals, probably we sell it at least more in an MLS than Facebook.
What's it take to get stuff sold on Facebook? Just good pictures, drone footage, putting it in
E-
the groups. Like, how do you go about that?
Exposure,
Okay.
exposure. Facebook is free, but you have to play by Facebook rules, which is very difficult and nobody knows what that rules is. So that's the problem with Facebook. You don't have stability. There is no one that I knock on their door and I say, I want to list my property. You don't know when they're, what thinks that you are spamming someone or you have sold something illegal or you have a pet in your, very difficult. The way we're handling it, we have about, I don't know, today, 18 or 20 Facebook accounts. And we just hand a group of land to one of our Facebook representatives and they just market it as they receive the lead. It goes to our sales managers. They communicate with the buyers and then hopefully they're able to do a deal.
With 18 to 20 Facebook. So you're creating Facebook accounts, or like technically, how are you doing that? Can you buy? You're buying seasoned Facebook accounts and then protecting them. Are you building up your own, or what are you doing there?
Used to, but not anymore. People could have multiple Facebook accounts. So we create them, we keep them warm, we follow the best practices on that. And basically, you grow one at a time. There is no Facebook form that I can go buy Facebook account from, but a lot of hygienes, lots and lots of hygienes. We do on that.
So you have one probably team lead who's an expert in keeping the accounts warm and staying up on ahead of what Facebook's up to, so that you don't get kicked out. And that's, I guess, you just have someone who's an expert at that. They're always
Yeah,
changing things, huh?
yeah, you have to be human at the end of the day. Facebook, nobody just post property on their Facebook all the time and do nothing else. You have to post pictures, you have to make comments, you have to do likes. So you have to keep your accounts active on that.
Mhm.
Everyone that we hire, they have to be trained on the Facebook, how to keep it active, how to keep it warm. That's what we do for sure on that one. Then how to post the property, how to communicate. Like, for example, what do we do is that the moment somebody says, are you interested? The follow-up question, yes. How can I help you? They have to answer the question, whatever they want to. Would you like to get some more information? Yes. Can I get your phone number? And that goes now to our follow-up boss, which is then our lead manager or sales manager start communicating with them from there. That's how the process works.
With all the technical things you've got going on, how do you train new people? Are you real diligent with SOPs, or do you have really good team leads who have all the knowledge and they're able to teach people how to do it? How do you actually get that done?
Like any other small companies, that's great. We like to create those SOPs. We are creating everything as we can move forward. It's always chicken or eggs. Unfortunately, we're not a Fortune 500, so I don't have a whole team that all sees, they're writing SOP. We try to document it as much as possible. We try to put it on the videos as much as possible and then put a lot of fire down. As I said, it's real out there. We have to make money while we're working. We create as much of a SOP as possible. We have it documented. We have things like that, but it changes every day. I always tell my staff, everything is written on sand. So it's subject to change. That's correct. Every day. But yeah, every time we could bring someone, we hand it to that team leader and try to go through what we have learned, the frequent asked question, the frequent things that has happened and teach them that way.
Do you have a main operations guy? Do you have like chief operations officer, or are you driving forward a lot of the stuff technically and also the CEO role? How's it look?
I am developing those. So I do not have what do you call the sort of the operation manager that runs something because we group one piece at a time. I explained it that have you ever bought a one bedroom house and then you realize you need another bedroom? So you build it next door to it. It's not like you sat there and spent $2 million to plan that house architecturally and say, okay, I need 5 bedroom, I need 2 bathroom, I need this thing. You build it one room at a time. It's happened sometime a door opens to a bedroom. So, that's how it grows. But so the way I have done it is that at least I have head of each department. And I work with everybody myself. So I'm the guy that goes out there, brings it, but I try not to go down to the operation level. I have the head of that department. I teach them what to do, where to go, and they implement. We started a small company and it was very tight group. So I get to meet people. And I have kept all my managers in Houston. I get to see them. I get to walk outside of my office, talk to them, and deal with them. So that's how we run it. And I run a technology company for a while myself because that's what the lead generation company was. That so every morning, one of the things I do, I communicate with my developers and add our own software. We have our own CRM, everything designed for ourselves. So everything we have been designed for us to do it. I developed that myself, not in a form of coding, but the concepts.
Yeah, you have a unique background because running a software company and then also working with global talent and working with remote people.